Well, this all is looking pretty doggone good. Pretty happy with all of this. Except, what? Let's toss this. Well, hey, Rail fans, how you doing? Welcome back to Getting Back on Track with Steve and Roxy. So today, we're going to start working on the transition to go from the mountain down towards the valley area on our layout. But the first thing we noticed is we do not like the way this portal ended up looking. So we're going to take this, we're going to toss it away. I have another design that I've been working on, and it's available on Thingiverse if you're interested in this portal. Let's go ahead and I'll show you how I'm going to slice it up, dice it up, and get it ready for the 3D printer. Okay, so we want to make a change to the portal that we already had. We don't like that one for this application. But I do have another portal that I've been working on. So this is also available to all of you if you guys have a 3D printer and you have need for a portal or some other ideas. I've got a spot on Thingiverse here where my own page and some of my designs are housed. So if you go to Thingiverse, and I'm going to go to my profile page here. You can see I've got a couple designs that I put on here. So I've got this hot glue gun workstation that I put together. The remix I did of the brick warehouse. And then here's a single track tunnel portal that I worked on. So if we go here, and I'm going to download the file for this. Just hit download all files. And then it always has this delay, even though it goes really fast. But Thingiverse is really a good spot to go to if you have a 3D printer and you're looking for things. There's lots of files on here that you can get from Cabrumble and other designers. And you've seen me print a lot of stuff that I've gotten off of here. So now that we have our file right here, and it's in a zip type file, so I want to unzip it. And you can see in my here, I want to take it, I'm going to copy this, and I'm just going to put it on the desktop. So now, I can go ahead and leave here. I'm going to go and I'm going to open up my slicer software. I can go in here and file, open the file. And I want to go to my desktop. I want to get this portal right here, this STL. So here's my portal. But I'm going to need to make some changes of it because this is set up as if I'm printing and I want this long side on the inside or the outside. So it's not correct here. So I can take my slicer program, and if I go here to the mirror side, and I can select it, and I can make a mirror opposite. The other thing is the sizing. So I want to select and make some changes. So I did some measurements, and we want to take and make this one where it's 81 millimeters. Whoop. Well, there's a mistake already. So we're going to undo, select our thing again. I want to get rid of uniform scaling because I'm going to change all this to the dimensions I need. So I need 81 millimeters, and that's for the width of this. You can see the width change. The next is going to be the Y. You can see the green and Y, and this is the length of the thing altogether. And I'm going to change this to 127 millimeters. You can see the change in the width. And then the other thing we want to look at is the Z, which is the height. And height-wise, I wanted this to end up at the 114 millimeters. So this will fit just like I want inside over here. So just the inside of this right here will fit just inside the tunnel. So back up against the mountain, it should look pretty good. So now I want to go ahead and slice this. So we're going to take a look at some of the properties here. Just a standard quality. I don't need to change any layer heights or anything. My wall thicknesses are all preset. So most of this will be preset in there, determined by the program already. But there's just a couple items I want to make sure that's on here. So this, I want a heavier infill density. So usually I go ahead and I just do a 10%, but I want this a little more solid. So I'm going to do 50%. I'm going to do a lightning infill pattern, which is kind of a zigzag pattern that's on there. And that speeds up your printing, and it gives you plenty of support for the infill. Let's see, the other thing is our printing temperature. I want to print this at 210 Celsius. And I want the print bed at 70 Celsius. That's all good. Got my printer speed, 100 millimeters a second. I want to go down here, and I'm going to enable it retraction. So I want this to, when it's moving around, I want it to retract. So it's not dragging across the part when it's moving from position to position. We want the combing mode to be within the infill. And we want to make sure that Z-hop. So if it's moving from one position to the next, it actually hops over the print so it doesn't actually knock it over, which happens. And then I got my cooling on. So it looks like everything's pretty good, and I'm using a tree for support. So this area here, where you've got the ceiling, you can't just print across there without something for it to adhere to, otherwise it'll just be a big sag. So we're going to use a tree underneath to support all this. And that can be removed after it's printed. So once we're sure everything's set, we're going to hit slice. It'll think about it for a minute. It'll come back and it'll tell us how long it's going to take. It tells us how much filament it'll use. And based on how much I paid for that filament, what this part will cost me to print is $1.12. So 6.5 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And I'm just going to put it over here and save. So that we can turn around and we can put onto our printer. Oh, those darn gremlins. I gotta tell you, now I've had this 3D printer going on 4 years now, and it's run really good. I've only had a few problems and a few upgrades to it, and sometimes even with the best of intentions, things can go wrong. So I went ahead and I cleaned up that mess. I reset everything on the printer to do it, ran it again, and it got almost to the end of the print and all of a sudden just quit feeding filament. So here's a whole different problem I haven't run into before. So I spent the better part of a day digging into that until I learned about heat creep and why I'm starting to get these clogs so I can't get the filament through. So once I fixed all that, let's get back on the printer and get this portal printed so we get this work done. Now we got a pretty good print. We're checking the fit and it looks great. So we're going to mark where it goes. We're going to start looking at adding some terrain here. So we need to make this mountain go down to the valley, but I need to cut to fit this piece so it fits in between the wall of that portal and the backdrop. And again, our handy dandy foam cutter, we have used this more times on this layout, and it's such a handy tool. There we go, fits just right. Let's continue it on. We need to drop it down a little lower. And I'm trying to use every scrap piece that we've got laying around here. So we cut the contours into it. And then we're going to blend the two together. There we go, we're getting closer now. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. One last piece. Well, there we go. We fought through all our demons and all them gremlins. We got our portal all printed up. We started working on the terrain, and I really like the way it's shaping up coming off of this area here, and we're coming down into the valleys. We're coming out of the mountains. And I think that's going to work great. So we'll end up getting that fastened down permanently, and then we can do some sculpt and mold plaster work on that. And we've got this whole section here so we can connect the upper level with the lower level. So that'll be next on the agenda. But in the meantime, you guys have a good time running your trains, working on your layouts. And we see you next time back here on Getting Back on Track with Roxy and Steve. She's taking over the channel.